Hey, welcome to the Northwest Georgia Football Scoreboard Show. Second round's over, man. Tough night for the Northwest Georgia teams. Got Chris here from Team FYN Sports. Probably have DJ Kaufman on a little bit later. If you haven't heard any of the scores, if you're in your car, man, we'll run through them right quick. Darlington moves on to the quarterfinals with a 28-14 win over Tattnall. Turner County 40-13 over Bowden. Wilcox County 22-21 over Tryon in overtime. Northeast Macon 26, Haralson County 20. Thomasville 42, Heard County 16. Fitzgerald 28, Fannin County 14. Thompson 14, Ringgold 7. Cedartown with a big win 48-14. Calhoun holds on against Ware County 49-42. Villa Rica 34-21 over Harris County. And a game still in progress. Warner Robins 24, Cartersville 17 with 6 minutes left. Is there any of those scores that stand out to you?
I would say the Herd score. Thomasville Herd. Right there. DJ.
DJ, I saw some highlights, man. They fought hard, huh?
Yeah, and I have that same feeling from my senior year. It feels just as hard, and I'm about to cry now. I don't know why, but like it's just as hard watching the kids that you grew up with, that you played with, that you put so much energy and passion on the field. Go through what they went through. They got it across midfield with just over a minute left. Got unlucky and threw an interception. Um, it was it was a game that Harrison County was down 2 scores at one point. They fought all the way back to tie it. Um, Northeastern missed two extra points. So I mean, it's tough. Talked to a lot of the kids. Shout out to Clay Hyatt, to the Riley Bell, to Wesley Clough, to JoJo, to Colton, to Eli, to Isaiah, to Caden. To all the seniors that it's like Coach Peavy says every week. It's a stepping stone to be the best that you can be from here on out. And I know like it's tough for me, and I don't understand, but it's one of those things that come with being so emotionally attached to something like this, and it's tough because Lawrence, you know how attached I am to this team, this program, to the coaching staff. The joy I have, and being able to do what I'm doing. So, huge shout out. A little light on the other side for the Rebels. Huge shout out to Riley Bell, who committed to Mercer University to continue his academic and athletic career. Um, I'm sure here pretty soon there'll be a few more that commit to further their education. Me and Wesley Cole is going to go down to Georgia State for a second time tomorrow. So it's one of those things that you find in the Bible. It always gets dark before it gets light. So um, and I looked around at all the other scores, and all in all, Northwest Georgia was represented really well tonight, and every team that either won or didn't win, they had a great season. They fought so hard, and they made all of their communities proud. And even us here, there's some teams that I never really followed that much, and I'm so proud to see those kids be able to be the best they can be. So
Yeah, we had one more score tonight, Lawrence. It was Bainbridge 48, Northwest Whitfield 7. Did you forget Northwest Whitfield?
I did not forget Northwest. It must have got left off the banner. Let me fix that one.
Uh, yeah, that was it. I think Northwest had a great season. They started slow, but I see that they've got a lot of juniors coming back, so I think they're looking good for next year. Even though they'll be dealing with Sonoraville, and I think they're going to be tough. So,
48-7 final.
yes,
Yeah, I was telling Chris before we came on the air, man. I saw that Haralson County score at halftime, 19-6, and I thought they were in trouble. When they come out in the second half and fought hard, man. And
I was. It's been kind of the same thing from year on to year on to year on. We've always We never pass the ball, so we have trouble defending it. And and they came out and they threw the ball, just as Rayburn did a year ago. They came out, they threw the ball, a little bubble screen here, a little pass here, slant routes, and right there before halftime, they did a 2 minute drill in about a minute and 2 seconds to be able to put a score on the. I mean, and they moved the whole length of the field. So
Yeah, I saw some of the highlights you posted, man. It looked like their offensive line was big, strong. They're
I,
pushing people around, man.
when I tell you these kids are big, I think it was number 60, and he was their backup, and he was probably about 6'6", 6'7". He's probably about 300 pounds. They had two really tackles. I mean, honestly, their whole offensive line was probably about 6'4", 6'5". Their defense was outstanding. They had a really tall receiver. Their quarterback played really smart. He was able to get out of trouble. When Helps County put him in the pocket, he was able to escape and make plays for himself. And that was really the difference maker. Was where you usually see Harrison County be able to contain the pocket and be able to get those third and long, fourth and long, downs, which they did at some points, but the quarterback, my bad, really stepped up and paved the way for them to be able to do what they did. And I shout out to number 60 on their side. He and a lot of their players, they absolutely had so much respect for the Harrison County players, the season they had also. So it was definitely a hard fought game. It was, like you said, it was one of those games where at halftime I was like, okay,
Yeah,
we turn it on. And then, Harrison County came out, fought to tie it back up at 20. And then they jumped ahead. And then, like I said, unfortunately, right there, on the 50-yard line, that Hells County ran a little pass play, threw it over the middle in double coverage, and it got picked off. And it's nothing on Clay, and it's nothing on the receiver. It was a great great play by the DB. He was turned the complete opposite way, turned back across his body, and caught it. So it was a great play by him. So yeah, I know tough loss for them, and and I know I kind of killing the mood, but it
Hey,
that's all right. That's kind of the mood all over Northwest Georgia tonight, I think.
yeah, we kind of had a rough evening. We had a few teams excel, but a lot of the others we kind of took it on the chin tonight, is what I told Benton.
I didn't
Six,
see I seen something about Fennon that they were either tied or
Yeah,
something.
they played a great game tonight, man. They were tied up with Fitzgerald 14-14 at halftime, and Fitzgerald came out with their size and speed in the second half and ended
yeah,
up winning 28-14.
Fitzgerald, they had a great team last year too. I talked about it, earlier in the week with Brenton. I know some of the Fitzgerald kids, and I knew they had a great team last year. They had a great running back also, and I knew I think there was a Final Four matchup last year, so I knew that that game would be tough for Fennon. But I had hopes, just like I did in every Northwest Georgia team. It's tough, and I see Darlington win.
Yeah, I tell you what,
yeah,
man, I watched the heartbreaker tonight on the stream. Tryon lost 22-21 in overtime.
yeah.
Wilcox Tryon came out and scored on the second play of overtime, went up by 7, and Wilcox came out and scored and went for 2, barely
And
got it.
Yeah.
it was
I hate that. Yeah, I thought Tryon had him stopped there at the 1. That kid he just wanted it more. So that was a tough loss. But Tryon's had a great season. I think they went from 3-7
Yeah,
to 10
they
and
were the
2 this year.
they were the
What a
5th team last
turnaround!
year in 6A. Yeah,
Yeah. And
trying to get
my beloved 6 AAA, our last team is out after tonight. Ringgold, and I hate seeing seniors, have some injuries towards the end of the season. I feel for those guys, but they played a tough game. They had a long travel down to Augusta to play Thompson. It was 14-7. They come up just short.
Yeah, I know. I was kind of following that game. Because
Yeah.
just like with the Fitzgerald kids, I know some of the Ringo kids from when I played Ringo. Some of them are now seniors. So for me, I have the same sympathy for them. It's a tough loss to a really good team, and it's a close loss, and it's hard.
That Bowden score is a little bit surprising right there.
I had Bowden winning that by like 2 touchdowns because
Yeah.
I've seen Bowden multiple times this year, and like I was saying in the show earlier this week, I was like, Bowden has a great team. Bowden has a lot of athletes and a lot of people that can make plays, and it's a lot of people that don't take credit. They're all for a team, just like Carrollton County is. And when I seen that score, I was like, wow.
Yeah,
So
I got a quick score update here. Cartersville was stopped on a 4th and goal from the 1 with 56 seconds left. It looks like Warner Robins is going to win 24-17.
oh man.
That's a heartbreaker too.
Yeah, if Tryon was the biggest turnaround in single A, what do you think about the emergence of Villarica over the past couple seasons?
Yes.
They've had a great year in Villarica. You didn't hear about playoff runs before, recently, but this year they're getting it done.
Yeah,
That-
Coach Barron has done a great job. Barron is exceptional coach, man. He came up from Heard County where he took them to state championship a couple of years ago.
Yeah, they look
it's
awesome.
it's the same thing like we talk about all the time. The culture change, and you got to make the community buy in and the kids buy into what you're doing, and that's what he did. The kids was like, we're here to play football. We're not worried about anything else. And now you see where all them kids are getting the recognition that they deserve. I think one of them picked up an offer from Virginia just this
yeah.
morning,
He's a
and
junior,
and,
yeah.
and that's a great thing to see. And I know they got, I think he's either a sophomore or freshman. He's an offensive lineman. He's about 6'5", and he's taken 3, 4, 5 trips to Florida State. So it's that same thing. You got a team that's bought into what their coach wants to do, and they're prevailing.
So I guess we'll talk about the elephant in the room. That is the 11-team region that we're going to have next year. I'm not happy about that. Even if you had a split region, I'm not happy about the playoff spots because I know this 11-team region is still only going to get 4, where there's some a couple 7-team regions and a 5-team region that are also going to get the same amount of playoff spots. I think that's unfair.
Yeah, I like to think the thing that I don't like about it, just right off the surface. I mean, they haven't announced, who's going to be split into what yet. But to me, right now, it kind of looks unbalanced.
What if it's not split? What if you just play 10 region games?
I don't know if they don't split it.
Yeah, well, I actually got told, somebody told me there's a rule in GHSA. If you have 10 or more, you have to be split.
I'm about to say I think they split it because my senior or junior year we was in that same region, and we was gonna have to play 10 straight region games and have no non-region games, and they split us, and we fell into the region with North Murray, Adairsville.
I think you were in there with Calhoun.
Yeah,
Calhoun, Adairsville, Sonorville, Harrelson, and Bremen, actually.
I think Bremen was the other side because we didn't play Bremen.
Okay, they may have went back to 2A then. I know Bremen was in there for a little while.
I guess the big question I have on the split region is: do you just play the teams on your side of the bracket, or do you play the other teams? I mean, do you play everybody?
I think you have some crossover games. I think if they are split, I think they would have at least a couple crossover games. So you would have maybe the same amount of region games you have now.
Yeah.
Which
to me, that's not it's not fair as far as the scheduling goes because everybody doesn't play everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you determine who gets Bremen, who gets Adairsville, who gets North Murray?
You do the way they did with us, it was you played your whole region, your 5 region games because I think it was either 6-4 or it was 5-4 after Bremen left, and the way it worked was you played your region schedule on the split side, and then you had a play-in game at the end of the year because we played in and played LFO one year. So in that pick, so your top 2 teams from both split regions are your ones that go to the playoffs. And then if you have a tie, you have a play-in game for your 10th game. But we also had non-region foes because our first two games was Jackson and I forgot the other one, but I know that's how they did it with ours. Which this one may be different because I'm pretty sure I'll have way more teams than what we had in that region.
11 teams. 11 teams. That's I still think that every time a team from a region goes to GHSA for anything, I think a region representative should be there with them. So
sorry, I'm getting my
Josh Reese.
Yep.
That's awesome.
That's the thing I took. That's the thing I took note of tonight too. There's 4 or 5 guys that are competing for our Northwest Georgia Player of the Year, and every one of them tonight, man, just stood out. Seth Reese, Rob Brown, he had over 100 yards in the second half. Clay Hyatt,
yep.
Patrick Shelley at Darlington, he had a big night.
And those first 3 you mentioned, I think those are no doubter guys to be in the conversation, and Patrick Shelley too. He's had a great season. So I really like those top 3, and it's going to be a tough decision.
Yeah, I was about to say, this is the 4th year I've been doing this, and this is absolutely the hardest year when it comes to picking a player of the year.
I was thinking of those 3, and who I was going to vote for would have been the one that went the deepest into the playoffs. So I've got a problem now.
This is for you, Chris.
No, I have not heard anything. I just know there's 11 teams, and I don't know about splitting or if we're just everybody's going to play a 10-game all-region schedule. So I haven't paid attention today. I've had basketball and been watching football all day.
So if you had a vote, would you want it split, or would you want everybody to play the same teams?
I would say my biggest concern is the playoff spots. I don't think it's fair to have 11 teams and force playoff spots where other teams can, because even if it's split or not, you have the opportunity to have a 7-3 team, possibly an 8-2 team. If it's split, miss the playoffs, where Region 1 at AAA could have a 1-9 team make the playoffs. That would just pour salt on the wound right there. You're 7-3 or you're 8-2, and you got to watch a 1-9 team make the playoffs. So that's my biggest concern. I think it would be split because I think out of region, I think it'd be better to be split. I think out of region games are very important. I had posted on Facebook today. I was like, does Bradley Central or Cleveland, you think they would scrimmage some Georgia teams? Because they're fairly large schools. I think they're maybe bigger than Dalton. So I would try to get in the toughest scrimmages I could before I went and played a 10-game all-region schedule. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially with them teams. That if they don't split it, the 10-game region schedule, it would be just like, the Region 5 AA here. It's you're got a possibility of a team coming out 5 games into the season and being like, we're not even completely healthy. We have 2 starters. So
that'd be brutal.
I don't want that to happen, but like when you have that capacity of a region, and that's a great possibility to come out of that.
Lawrence Morgan is a lot of people's hero. He's my hero.
Yeah, and the thing about playing, all 10 teams, 11 teams on one side is you can come out and lose the first 3 games of the season and your back's against the wall. I mean,
Yeah.
for the next 7 weeks, you're in trouble. You know, so
Mhm.
you come out and lose that fourth game. I mean, your season's done.
Yeah, you can't have any. I mean, you start right away. There's no room for error. You can't have any warm up games. It's terrible. I don't like the idea. So I would rather have it split, but I'm really concerned about not having a fifth playoff spot.
Yeah, I kind of, I say it all the time. I kind of wish we'd go the Florida way.
I think
You
he
know,
had a playoff spot.
I would agree with that. I would agree with everybody play who you want. Build
Yeah.
conferences. Go with conferences. I mean, you could have a conference made of a double A and triple A and possibly a couple, 4A teams. But your playoff seeding would be in your own class, depending on your Maxwell or Cal Preps or whatever they want to use. You still go to the playoffs depending on your class, but you can play whoever you want. You know what I
right.
mean?
And take the top 32 teams. I mean, you'd have. I mean, the gates would be huge. I mean, you'd have your number 1, number 2 team probably playing for a state championship. Where now,
Yeah.
I mean, they're playing each other the second week of the playoffs.
Yeah.
So when you get to state championship, you've got 10 versus 3 or whatever.
Yeah. So I mean, I I hate seeing Lafayette and Sonorville being, I think, ranked at the end of the season on the Maxwell rankings. Sonorville was a top 20 team,
Hmm.
and Lafayette was, I think, right around 25th or 26th. Even though they were 4-6, I mean, they had some quality wins and they played tough. So in their rankings, they were still inside the top 32, but they were at home. So
Yeah, I did a whole playoff bracket with 3A. Where I took the top 32 teams, showed what the matchups would be each round. And you had Lafayette, so Norville were in there, and you ended up having 1 and 2 play each other for the state championship.
that would be awesome. And I think that state championship trophy is going to head to Region 2 this year, probably. Just looking at the scores come through, I mean, 6 AAAs out. They're finished. 8 AAA. Took 3 losses tonight. Oconee, Monroe area, and Stevens County all lost, so they're out. And Region 2 and Region 5, I think Cedar Grove is still in there, and some Region 2 teams. You got Crisp and Pierce, and they're tough. They are tough.
Let's go over our handful of remaining local teams. Let's see what matchups they have coming up. I know Darlington gets the honor of traveling to Trinity Christian, man, which might be the best public single A team I've seen in the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
I know they won tonight 42-7.
Hey,
Who
what
else
was
do we have?
the score in that Heard County game?
48-16, 48-13, Thomasville. Who else do we have in Cedartown? Cedartown will be on the road. Depends on what happened in Flowery Branch and Perry tonight. Let me see if I can get a score from that game. I think the Bulldogs, man, have a real good shot at making the finals. I think
Yes,
Cairo
they do.
tonight was their toughest opponent between now and the finals.
And they handled business easily, it seems.
Yeah. Perry
And
won 42-7. So Cedartown will be heading to Perry Friday night.
Perry. Calhoun 49-42 over Ware. And I love Ware County Stadium, the Swamp. That would be so cool to go watch a game there. And if I had a time machine, I'd go play a game there. So.
And you said Calhoun. Let's see where Calhoun's going this next go around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw some of the stats from the Cedartown game tonight. They held Cairo to minus 17 yards in the first quarter, man, which is
That's pretty impressive.
Calhoun will play the winner of Stars Mill and Clark Central. If anybody knows the final of that one.
I'll have to look it up.
Stars Mill.
Yeah, my laptop is being 1995 at the moment, so
Go get you a Chromebook.
Clark
$100.
Central 24, Stars Mill 17. So Calhoun will be heading back to Athens, man. Play Clark Central. I think they played them last year in the playoffs. And then Villa Rica. Villa Rica will be at home next Friday night to play Blessed Trinity.
Wow.
That'll be a heck of a game.
Wow.
You got
That will be a game I'd like to go see too.
That might be a
think
game
that'd be a good
Chris
one.
Moore will be at, huh? That's right
Yeah.
down the street, Chris. I mean, you can head over to Villa Rica next Friday night.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to that Carrollton Westlake game
Who is Carrollton playing? Oh, is that they're
West-
playing?
at home. They're hosting Westlake.
Yeah, that'll be a great game.
Yeah. So 6 AAA next year. I want to tell everybody. I know we did a preseason show for 6 AAA. I'd like to do another one, expand it, see how many. Do it more like a round table, like we've been doing with the playoff previews each week. See if we can get 7, 8. Well, see if we can get 11 people there. Because
yeah, I'll tell you that the goal for the off season, man, is try to get somebody from every school to show up. Somebody who has ties to every program would be awesome.
Yeah. So that would really expand our coverage. We can do, a 3A show or, do a 7-4A show and things like that.
We have about 9.5 months, man, before the season starts. But I'm gonna put you on the spot. Your early favorite for the 6 AAA championship, 11 team.
The 11 team. There's a lot of young teams. I had to be honest with you, before reclassification, I had Sonoraville. Now I'm still looking at Adairsville as being a very tough team.
Yeah, there's somebody that agrees with you right there. Yeah.
And that very young North Murray team who has got some guys coming up that are absolute studs in that freshman and sophomore class. Skylar Williams and another kid I really like. I think he can have big contribution next year is a kid named Taylor Frazier. So watch him at linebacker. How about Coach Green retiring?
I haven't heard that. Did he retire?
Or no, not.
No, Coach Bishop from Adairsville.
Coach Bishop. Yeah, Eric Bishop. I'm sorry. I was thinking. I was talking to Coach Green a little bit ago. I was so many folks, you get them confused sometimes. But Eric Bishop's had a great career there at Adairsville, and he is leaving Adairsville to retire. And I hope he has a good retirement. And he is leaving Adairsville in very good shape. They've got a very powerful football team. Next year, I think they've got to put together. They've had some great seniors. It's going to be tough to replace them, but they've also got a great bunch of sophomores and juniors. So I think it's going to be a slugfest.
Especially in that south area or that east. I mean, I don't know what they're going to call it, but North Murray and Adairsville are going to be in the same side.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I think you could throw Pickens in there. I think Pickens has got some very young talent. And they are very tough, like their young quarterback. So I think that will be interesting to watch. Lafayette has got a very tough group of sophomores and juniors coming up. I think they could be in the mix. I don't know as much about Bremen. I don't think they would have fared too well in 6 AAA this year. But how they do next year, who knows?
I think the problem they have next year is they lose, 15 or 16 seniors off that team. It's going to be a tough season for them next year.
Yeah, I really don't. Maybe it's better that they're coming next year because I think they would have had a rough time in 6 AAA this year because, they took that tough loss to Fannin. And, Fannin lost to Sonoraville 32-0 earlier in this season. And Sonoraville didn't even make the playoffs in 6 AAA. But Sonoraville, I think, in 7-4A, they're going to be a team to reckon with. I mean, that is a very good football team. They are playmakers everywhere on that football team. So if you're in 7-4A, I hope you understand what's coming your way.
Sorry, I'm being quiet. I'm doing
Are you writing an article?
No, so I was going back to 2017 with our split region.
Yes.
Okay, so
North
the
Murray
way
was the only team from the North region to make the playoffs.
so the way that they did it was they had a AAA Region 6 South and a AAA Region 6 North.
Mm-hmm.
Ringgold did not make it, and they was a 4-2 region team.
Yeah.
LFO did not make it; they was a 4-3 team. Let me see. That was the year Calhoun won it all.
Yeah.
Bremen made it. North Murray made it.
Three
Calhoun
teams from the South and one team
and
from the North. Yeah.
Yeah, I have I'm not trying to throw shade at anybody, man, because everybody's good, but I have a feeling the same thing is going to happen in 2022. You're going to have three teams from the South, and whoever wins that North is going to be the North team.
Yep.
I mean, with North Murray and Adairsville and
that
Bremen and
Pickens.
I mean,
those are three that especially that Adairsville, North Murray, and Pickens. Those are three very young football teams. A lot of contributions come from those sophomores and juniors, and several freshmen out there. So we've got some really great players, young players coming up in that region. So
what do you
it's
think
going to
about
be
the possibility of Cola Creek, man, making a playoffs for the first time? I mean, if they're
well.
stuck in there with LFO and
If it was a
Ridgeland, Lafayette.
9-team region, when I did my original rankings, I was going to tell Coahulla Creek go get some dancing shoes because you're going to the dance. Because that's what I think Coahulla Creek has got a great group of juniors that are going to be seniors next year. I think Case Kinnaman leads the way, and who knows? I mean, I can think three right off the top of my head. I think could make them make a playoff run. That 4 spot. I see it could be Coahulla Creek, Lafayette, maybe Bremen. So Gilmer is playing great.
And they have the most storied coach in the 6 AAA, with Paul Standard.
Yeah.
I mean, 200 wins and.
So who knows? But this whole 11-team region thing, it's just got me. I just don't like it. I don't think it's good.
I love you, Ed, and I love you, and I wish him luck in wherever he commits to. That
question for you, Mr. Kaufman. So are you actually being recruited by Georgia State, or are you just going for the visit?
Whoa,
Or are you still?
Who said that? Who said anything about that?
I'm just asking, man. I see you going on these trips.
So
I thought maybe you were trying to play again, huh?
So I'll explain it this way. I do hold a few offers from some people. So a few good teams that I have interest in and have had interest in. But for me, I'm a father. That automatically comes first. And me and my wife has talked about it a few times. If it comes down to the opportunity, I may go back. I really like Georgia State. Me and Coach Stepp, we talk a lot. I really like him. So if the opportunity arose, I'm not going to say no. So it's one of those things where it depends on how the cookie crumbles, I guess you could say.
Well, keep us updated.
I will.
I got the same dilemma. I'm thinking about going back too, but they said guys with bad knees close to 50 years old aren't allowed to play anymore. So
yeah, I thought about going back too, and then I showed them my report card and it said 0.0 GPA. They said, "No, man, you got to go."
You see, I do gotta admit, like, when I first came out, I wish I would have took it as serious as I am like now, as I did when I first came out. and this will help like the parents that are watching this and the kids that could watch this. For me, I went into it a football mindset where it hit me in the face because I should have been in as a student mindset. So, um, I would say like definitely the schooling is way more important than what you think it is. And high school is a lot different. Uh, college, you gotta go like 95-5 schooling over football. Where in high school you can go like 95-5 football over school.
That's the one thing I think these kids don't understand, man, that want to get recruited and go play football is you got to be a student first, man.
Yeah,
100%. If you aren't a
Yeah.
student, don't even go play football.
and you have no idea like when I was getting recruited, like every coach I sit down and talk to, every coach I message, every coach that had interest in me, it was never, "Hey DJ, let me see your film." It was, "Hey DJ, what's your test scores? Hey DJ, what's your report card? Hey, what's your GPA? Oh, are you going to take the SAT again?" So it was always I want to know your character. I want to know how you are in the classroom. Because yeah, you're good on the football field, whatever. But if you're not a student first, then that means you're not committed to both sides of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm kind of worried about Benton over there, man. I think he might have been abducted by an alien.
I have no idea what's going on with Benton.
Do you have a copy of me?
Benton,
I mean,
did you butt dial us into the show or something? I mean, what's going on here?
How about- let me mute him here. I'm not sure if he knows he's on or not. Yeah.
All right.
Callaway beat the number 1 seeded Blakely County,
County, wow.
Yes.
and not just beat them; they beat them by I think it was 30 something to 14.
So who's Callaway got next week? Callaway will be going to the winner of South Atlanta, Westside Augusta. I'm gonna assume that was probably South Atlanta.
You got a copy
And
of me?
Breaker
Yeah.
19, 10-4.
What's that? I'm actually driving right now, but I have my phone set down, so I'm hands free if there's any law enforcement. Charles, I got my hands free device.
What's it going to be on?
I ain't heard any of the scores tonight. So besides the Trine game, I watched the Trine game, and that was just
All right.
heartbreaking as a Chattooga fan.
I'll go ahead and run down the scores for you. Darlington 28-14 winner.
Nice.
Turner County beat Bowden 40-13.
Woo.
Northeast Macon 26-20 over Harrelson. Thomasville 42-16 over Hurd. Fitzgerald 28-14 over Fannin. Thompson 14, Ringgold 7. Cedartown wins 48-14. Calhoun 49-42 over Ware County. Villa Rica 34-21 over Harris, and Warner Robins stopped Cartersville on a 4th and goal to win 24-17 it is. And Northwest Whitfield lost 48-7.
Man.
So we got four teams left, 5.
Yep.
Cedartown looks like they just keep rolling.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, they did.
You know what their next matchup is? Like, is it going to be in Cedartown? Or
they're going to Perry.
Right.
I think the only team that plays even close to us is Villa Rica. They'll host Blessed Trinity.
Man, that'll be a game. Villa Rica has been like something on some kind of roll here lately, man. They got them going down there.
Yeah.
Wildcat land.
I tell you what, when we get ready to vote for our Coach of the Year, man, there's so many options out there. I mean, it's just as close as the Player of the Year to me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got Tim Barron at Villa Rica, who's done a great job. Coach Peavy, I mean, hands down, making history with the Rebels. Trying.
I watched some of that score, and I noticed that they come back, made it close, and I thought, man, they might have a shot at winning this thing. And then I seen something, I think it was an interception or something DJ might have reported. I was like, man.
Yeah, they got down to midfield. They had a big fourth down converted, and they ran a little They ran a 5-yard out, kind of a 10-yard corner out, and then a post down the middle of the field. And it's like I was telling them earlier, the DB just made a heck of a catch and a heck of a read to be able to intercept Clay.
Yeah, I watched. Like I said, I watched the scores of a couple of the local games, but I watched that Trine game in its entirety, and man, honestly, there at the end, I thought they won the game. And then because the camera was kind of a little off of the runner, when he ran out of view, it looked like he was getting tackled on like the 3-yard line. The next thing you know, the other side is going crazy. I'm like, what just happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
I mean, yeah, I thought when they got access to that unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, man, that we had it won. When they were backed up to the 30, I said, oh man, this is great.
Yeah.
And then dude bust that 15-yard run right from the start.
Mm-hmm.
Middle of the game or early in the game, they kind of controlled the line of scrimmage a little bit with that running back, and then they got away from it and trying to make a comeback. And I was like, if I was their coach, I would get back to that. And that last drive that they scored on in regular time, that's exactly what they did.
You probably watched the same broadcast I watched, man. The announcers couldn't figure out why one wouldn't run the ball the whole time,
Yeah, it was. I mean, I was saying the same thing the announcers were, I guess, man, because I was like, I'd be handing the ball off. Somebody playing pool? I think I just heard a cue ball break.
I think Chris just fell off his chair.
South Atlanta,
Anyway,
22-17.
Who did?
South Atlanta. So Callaway will travel or host South Atlanta.
Well, they'll have to travel to South Atlanta because South Atlanta is a 1 seed.
The reason I was making them confusing faces, if y'all didn't notice, so I looked on Max Prep to see what the score was, and it says 102-76.
wow.
They're in the third quarter. South Atlanta scored. West Side scored 76 points in the first quarter. Is what it says.
Wow.
So I was like, hold on. So I had to go follow South Atlanta on Twitter to see that they won 22-17. I was like, hold on.
Yeah.
So
I think that sets up good for Callaway because I think Hurd beat South Atlanta in the first game of the season.
Yeah, that's what me and that's what we was talking about on the show, that it's a different South Atlanta team than Hurd faced at the beginning of the year, because Hurd County, like you were saying, Hurd County beat that team at the beginning of the year, and then they went on a 10-1. They went on a 9-0 run to now. I think they're either 10-1 or 11-1, and heading. I seen it on their Twitter that this is the first time they've been in the third round in school history. Let me double check that.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. The South Atlanta team that I saw last year in the first round of the playoffs, I mean, man, they've really come alive because the Chattooga team that took 25 people down there to play South Atlanta played them close as a 1 versus 4 seed matchup last year, I think. That kind of surprised me. You seeing South Atlanta. I know the running back is great, but seeing them in the third round, that's a eye opener.
Yeah, that's the first time in school history.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
that was a great win by Calhoun, man, going down to Ware County. I was surprised by that one. That's a shocker.
Were they not down by a decent margin at one point?
Yeah, yes. They came out and scored first, man. They went up 7-0 on Ware, then Ware came back and scored 21 unanswered points. And at that point, I'm thinking, man, they're getting ready to get blown out,
Man, Calhoun's one of those teams. Honestly, I thought Calhoun would probably keep it close and probably end up losing the game. I figured Cartersville would have a shot. Warner Robins is tough. But none of those teams besides Calhoun, Cedartown, I think, and Darlington.
Yeah, I told Chris, man, if he ever has a chance to go and watch Calhoun practice next summer, man, to get out there and watch them, dude, it's the most unbelievable practice I've ever witnessed at a high school.
Hey, Calhoun is a college football team. I don't care what nobody says. I don't care. I played them. I was in that. There are student sections. They're fans. It makes you feel like you're at a lower level D2 NAIA school.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, they had every kid in their program out there that day from 7th grade all the way up to 12th grade. They each had their groups. They had cards in their hands, so they ran a play. They could look down at the card and see what they did wrong, if they were in the right spot, and everything just flowed like clockwork the whole time.
and they got the little clock on the board.
Yep.
And at each period, they got to be in a certain spot, and they don't ever walk to them spots either. They jog the whole time.
That's pretty impressive.
Well,
Everybody's practicing at the same time. You don't have 50 kids on the sideline watching 10 practice. Everybody's moving at the same time.
That's what I was about to say. I was about to say you don't see the standing and watching, and you don't know how much time and you don't know how much you lose by teams that do that stand and watch. I mean, it's just.
Yeah, I've gone to a lot of practices, man. I see a lot of teams with 40 guys standing on the sidelines and 10 practicing.
Yeah, and you're only getting a limited portion of your team better, and no wonder when Calhoun graduates, 15, 20 seniors, they jump right up there and the next class is ready to go because they've been practicing their whole life like the varsity.
Yeah, 7th grade all the way through seniors. That's pretty impressive. I like that idea.
Yeah,
Makes
that's great.
The team knows the offense before they even get into the offense.
Yeah. So we're getting closer to having our year-end show. We still got a couple teams out there. I'd love to have a year-end show where we just put it out there. Anybody come on, even if it's just for a minute to say, hey, I know we followed a lot of the seniors and the coaches throughout their careers, and love to just say hello. Not not from the sidelines or something.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris, are we going to do any basketball shows coming up this year?
You know what? I think I'm going to. I think we should.
I'm covering some, so.
Benton, I think we should get with Jake West and see if we can do some live streaming games on FYN TV, and me and you announce them. We'll pick a couple games a month or something,
Yeah. Pick the big games, the big matchups, or whatever in the areas.
Yeah, we got some great basketball getting ready to happen in this area. I think Daresville has got a good team put together.
I've seen that they played Rome the other day, and I believe they beat Rome.
Yeah, well, I think they'll have their hands full when they try to beat Lafayette. So I think Lafayette's going to be a monster. I think they really want to make a run at that state championship, and I think they can do it.
I'm pretty sure tomorrow. I have to work in the morning, but I'm pretty sure tomorrow afternoon I'm going to ride down and watch the Indians play at Rockmart tomorrow.
Okay.
They got that tournament.
I don't think it's a tournament. I think it's just single game. I think varsity girls and boys are playing tomorrow. Okay. But Rockmart is they used to be in 7AA, and basketball wise, it was always a big competition. It was like Rockmart Model and Chattooga seemingly was in the top 3 every year, and we've always played them. Even when they moved to AAA, we continued to play them.
All right, guys. Well, I'm going to get off here.
Yep, I'm about to head to work here.
Yeah, but my little girl's riding around on her little Paw Patrol 4-wheeler thing. She's
spank her and put her to sleep, man.
Oh no, she's mad.
Don't do that.
She cannot unless I'm with her. It's crazy.
I tried to do that to my son once. He hit me.
Yeah,
back,
yeah, so. It don't work. It don't work.
It don't work.
Hey,
all right, guys. We'll see y'all next week, man.
All right, guys. All right, I'll see y'all.